What is up, guys? RGT85 here, and today on the channel we're taking a look at Stranger Things 3 the game. Now, honestly, we talked about this game in the upcoming games for the month of July for the Nintendo Switch, but I really didn't plan on covering this game. But then I kind of messed around and spent the whole day yesterday just watching Season 3 of Stranger Things. I binged the whole season, I finished the whole season, and then I realized I wanted more Stranger Things. So when I got to about episode 4, I went ahead and downloaded this game. Now, this game is available on the PS4, the Xbox One, Steam, and Nintendo Switch. It is $20, and it's an interesting game. Now, first and foremost, when talking about this game, I have to tell you guys, this game follows the TV show pretty much to a T, and that extends into all the content as well. Basically, every episode has a name for the episode in the Netflix show, and every episode or chapter in this game also has the same name. So I realized what was happening as I was playing this game, and I'm like, oh crap, you know, there's going to be a lot of spoilers in this video if I end up finishing the game. So right now I am on chapter 5, and there are 8 episodes in the season 3, so I'm over halfway done with the game. I've only been playing for about 2.5 to 3 hours, so it's not a super long game, but I wanted to keep this as spoiler free as possible. So I'm going to try to avoid some of the story stuff in this game. I figure if you're watching the show, you've probably at least seen episode 5 already, so maybe it'll work out. But this is Stranger Things the game, and one thing I don't really like about this game is the fact that when you play this game, it doesn't really give you any backstory as to what is going on. So if you're not a fan of the Stranger Things series, you don't know like what is happening in this game, and it doesn't really do a good job of catching up to speed. It pretty much just throws you into episode 1 of season 3 and expects you to know stuff. So luckily, you know, I've watched the show a ton, but if you haven't watched the show, then you're kind of going to be lost in this game. But I really feel like this game probably is for diehard fans of Stranger Things, so you know, it is what it is. So as far as the game is concerned, as you can see here right now, I have 2 different characters, and it's a game designed with local co-op in mind. I've been playing the game in single player mode. I've been fine playing the game in single player mode, but it is sort of designed with co-op in mind. As far as what you could do in this game, you can actually do quite a bit. It plays sort of like an isometric beat 'em up. As you can see here, I'm throwing fists here, or I could switch in between my characters, and now I'm using a little bolt cutter as a weapon, and you can also switch between characters on the fly. So you can see here, these are different characters. I'm not going to talk too much about them. You should know who they are. And they all have different attacks. So we have a long range attack here. 11 here, of course, has our little telekinesis stuff. We got a baseball bat. We got another long range attack. So every character has their own unique abilities and their own sort of stats, their strengths and weaknesses. And the thing about the bolt cutter is you actually have to use the bolt cutter in order to get to different places. So bringing up what is going on here, you have a map system. You also have all of your quests. There's lots of story missions and there's lots of side quests. So you can see right now we have 1, 2, 3 different story missions, and then we have 2 different side quests that are still going on. Now, what's nice about the side quests is if you don't finish them in a certain chapter, like you could get some of these in earlier chapters in the game, they do translate over, so they never go away. So that's kind of cool, I think. And here is our party with all of our characters here, and you can see what their abilities are. They also have a special attack. You get these other characters as you keep playing the game. I already know when I'm going to get these characters because I already know who they are, because I've already finished the season of the show. But it is kind of interesting to see all the different characters. You also have party trinkets, and party trinkets are basically a way to level up everyone in your party. So you can see right now, fist spikes, so increased physical attacks and things like that. You've got stink bombs going on. I've got speed up stuff going on here so that my characters move faster. So all of these trinkets are applied to everyone in your party. You also have items, and all of these items are basically used in the crafting system. So you can see here, this is a crafting system, and basically by getting different items in the world that you're playing in, you basically get the ability to craft more things, and these things also include trinkets that you can use, and it's also based on items. Some of them will be integral to your game. So let's just go ahead and see what's going on right now. So Will is not very happy right now. He doesn't want girls. He wants to play Dungeons and Dragons, kind of like how I want to play video games. So now we have another side quest. So you see the side quests pretty much, they pick up very fast, and you end up getting a whole bunch of different ones and things like that. But you know, it's kind of cool. It does sort of extend the game if you want to do all the side quests in the game. But let's just show you guys sort of the overworld of this game, because that's one of the cool things I like about this game. game is just how much stuff is going on in the world of Stranger Things. So we're in Hawkins, of course. The whole game takes place in Hawkins. Basically, you have the main town area here, which is the suburban area, which is where a lot of the characters live. There's NPCs scattered around. You could talk to them, and they just don't really say a whole hell of a lot. But sometimes by talking to them, you do get additional quests and side quests and things like that. When you go to a section of the map, you could then go to different areas of the game. So we got, Hopper's Cabin, which of course is where Eleven lives. You have Hawkins Square, you have the mall, you have labs, you have a whole bunch of different places that you end up going to. And more of them become unlocked as you keep playing the game because of the story elements. Hawkins Square is pretty cool though. I like going here because there are stores. This is basically like the downtown area of the game, and you can actually pick up different items and stuff by visiting the store. So if we go to the general store here, you could see that if you need like a certain item to craft something that's integral to the game, you can actually buy it from this dude here, if pending he has it. So you can see here, they sell different things here, and a lot of these things are used for crafting, and sometimes they'll just be used in a side mission. Like early in the game, I had someone who wanted a hair dryer, so I had to come to the store, buy a hair dryer, and do a fetch quest like that. There are a lot of fetch quests in the game, but they are mostly just side quests. So you don't necessarily have to do them, but doing them does do good for your character because you get more money and stuff. So here's just a basic look at the combat in the game. You can see there's like a bit of slowdown when you're attacking, and it's very random because if you're in like an open area, it doesn't really happen all that much, but it just seems like it's not very fluid. It's not very, it's a bit choppy, a bit on the choppy side. So I don't quite know like why, because obviously this is not a graphically taxing game. Let's go ahead and switch to a different character, show you guys some different stuff here. But yeah, it is kind of weird to me how that happens. And, in this situation, it's not that big of a deal because we're just fighting, mutated rats right now. But you start to fight, there's boss battles and stuff based on characters from the show. There's also human characters that you're fighting against, some Russian characters. So it does become kind of problematic in there. I will say, though, the game is a bit on the easy side. I've actually have not died in this game at all. And I am playing on the standard difficulty. There's an easy difficulty and a harder difficulty. I almost feel like I should have done the harder difficulty so that way I could actually play the game a bit more hardcore and actually feel a bit challenged. You do see in the bottom corner here we have a life meter which is all the way full. Coke will restore our energy. The energy is basically for your special attacks, and you also get life packs. You can pick up life packs by going to vending machines as well. They're very cheap because there is a currency system in the game. It's very easy to acquire money, I found, and it's not like all super challenging to get money. So this dude wants me to get him gum from various machines, but let's just go ahead and we'll start a quest here. So let's just do farm raid. We'll check that out, and so you guys can sort of get a little introduction into how the main quests work in the game. I like the game. I think the game is fun, but I'm also a fan of the series. I think if you're not a fan of Stranger Things, you're not going to care about this game because, like I said, the gameplay is a bit choppy, and at $20, like, it feels maybe a bit overpriced as well. $10, $15, I could see it, but they do probably have to do licensing for, of course, I need to investigate the Hess farm. I'm at the wrong farm. They probably have to pay licensing stuff for the Stranger Things, even though it is made by, it's made by Netflix Games, so I don't know. I feel like they could have done a little bit of a better job. The music isn't all that great, I don't feel. All right, let's see what we got going on here. So one thing that's kind of weird is like the characters will talk to each other like everyone is together, even though you're only playing as two different characters. But let's go ahead here and see what is on and poppin'. So see here, we had to use the bolt cutters in order to open that door. Basically, if there's a locked door that has bolt cutters earlier in the game, before we got the character of Joyce, you were not able to go into those doors. So once again, you can sort of go back and go into different areas that you've been into. And the game does encourage searching around quite a bit. I've actually come across many different items and things like that that made it so that I could craft, more powerful stuff, which was nice. So, that's a cool thing here. So obviously, there's some sketchiness going on here, some sketchiness. Let's go ahead and take out some plants in the meantime. And you can also basically have your character, you can control your character. So like right now, I'm gonna go ahead and swap. And I'm gonna tell Joyce to stay so that she stays on that so I can go into there. So basically that's how they sort of circumvent the whole, you know, local co-op thing if you don't have someone to play with. I adjusted the antlers, all right. So yeah, if you don't have someone to play with, it's very easy to control the other character, and they will fight with you, which, of course, you've already seen that. So let's see what we got going on here. There are a lot of puzzles in this game too, and some of them, you know, some of them make you think a little bit. You can hear machinery whirring from behind the bed. You can't seem to move it. All right, so maybe we got to find another way in. Some of the puzzles can be very tricky, and it looks like this puzzle might be a bit tricky. I don't know what I'm doing here. So there's got to be something I probably have to read in order to make this work. So let's search around here. The hands point towards 3. So almost like, let's try 300 then. See if that makes something budge here. Nope, okay. So let's look around and see if we could solve this puzzle. And I do like some of the puzzles in this game. They're almost a bit like old school Resident Evil stuff where it's just like a weird cryptic saying and it's like, okay, what does that mean? But then you come across something that sort of makes sense to you, and then you can solve the puzzle and advance through the game. So all right, so I didn't want to spoil the puzzle for you guys, but I did go ahead and figure it out. So now we are downstairs at the Hess farm, and basically we're trying to solve another puzzle that's ongoing right now. So you can see we have some human counterparts here that we have to fight against as well. And you know, it's a fun game. I do like the game, but I am sort of biased towards the game because I enjoy the show so much. Oh God, see, we have like the slowdown happening here in this large area with a bunch of different human characters. And let's go ahead and you can switch people on the fly as well if you want to. Let me take out these characters here. So that's kind of cool, but you know, if you're not a fan of the show, you're probably not going to care about the game, and I don't necessarily think the game is all that great, but I do enjoy it just because I enjoy, you know, the show so much. Like, it's a good show. It's a show that, you know, ties into a lot of nostalgia. It hits a lot of strides with that, but it's a decent game. It could be better, but I do like it. So those are my thoughts on Stranger Things 3, the game. If you're a fan of the show, you're probably going to pick it up because it plays just like the show. If you're not a fan of the show, you know, this isn't going to make you a fan of the show or anything like that if you've tried it and you just didn't enjoy the content. And if you are planning on watching the show, I would suggest watching the show before playing this game because, like I said, the game name is basically Spoiler City for the show because it follows the show exactly to a T. There is some deviance into the series as well, like there's some backstory in some of the different side missions, but for the most part, it follows everything to a T. So let me know in the comments section down below if you've already watched season 3 of Stranger Things and if you enjoyed it and if you plan on picking up this game. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Check out other videos on the channel. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.